200,000 migrant domestic workers live and work in Lebanon. Some of those are victims of labor exploitation and human trafficking, and they want justice. But the journey to justice is a long and difficult one. Under Lebanese law, a migrant domestic worker has the right to complain in front of the court or the police and the right to a fair trial like any other Lebanese citizen. But what's standing in the way? A migrant domestic worker may not know she has any rights at all. Tricked and trapped into exploitation, she may not know what options she has to find a solution or how and where to file a complaint. Her contract might not even include key provisions on working hours, days off, and privacy. So on what legal basis can she defend her rights in front of a judge? She doesn't have the same labor rights as other workers, since domestic workers are excluded from the labor code. The situation is complicated by the mere fact of leaving her employer without prior permission. Once she has left the house of her employer to file a complaint, she is in violation of the Lebanese residency law and becomes a perpetrator of a crime because of the kafala system. As her passport has been confiscated, filing a complaint is difficult as she cannot prove her identity. She will likely be stuck in a slow judicial process and not earn a salary during this time. Migrant worker cases are not considered a priority, and she might be repatriated before being able to testify in front of the court. Very few cases are ever resolved through the judicial system. Some migrant domestic workers end up in government detention centers and are deported often with no recognition or compensation. So what can be done to ensure that their path to justice becomes more accessible? Improve laws and their implementation. Domestic workers need to be recognized as workers under the Lebanese labor law. The kafala system should be reformed in line with international standards. The law criminalizing human trafficking should be firmly implemented. Private employment agencies should be better regulated and monitored. A new unified contract should be adopted in accordance with ILO Convention number 189. The judiciary needs to be more familiar with the body of law applicable to migrant domestic workers and more coherent in applying it. Strengthen action of key players. Diplomatic missions in Lebanon should expand their services to support their citizens. Trade unions should mobilize all nationals and migrant workers and collectively demand human rights, including labor rights, for all. Employers and citizens must adopt a zero-tolerance approach to forced labor practices. By focusing on improving access to justice, we can prevent labor exploitation and make decent work for migrant domestic workers a reality.